Okay, back in 2008, I went to a Central States Numismatic Society coin show, and there was a speaker there. The speaker's name was Mr. Bill Fivaz, and I was excited to see Bill in his presentation on Buffalo nickels. And I did bring this book with me, and I said, I might have him sign it. I felt kind of funny, but we did take a break about halfway through, and about half of the people in attendance got up and rushed over to speak with Bill and get a signature. They had books as well, so I didn't feel as funny. To John, kindest regards, Bill Fivaz, September 28th, 2008. Thank you so much, Bill. And Bill, during the presentation, passed out some free material. And I have these two pieces of paper in front of me I wanted to talk to you about. Fast forward 10 years after the presentation from Bill, boom, I recently purchased two beautiful, brilliant, uncirculated Buffalo nickels from our Garfield Heights Coin Club auction, our monthly meeting. And let's talk about the strike. The key area to determine where, is the buffalo's hip bone and flank underneath. Then he talks about the mesa effect. Now, I'll show you what I mean, or what Bill means about that hip bone and the flank underneath. A well-struck specimen is got a very well-rounded hip bone. Weakly struck, it's not as high, not as rounded, or then he has that mesa effect where it's really not min-state. And there's wear. So what we're talking about here is, I had a little piece of paper. I'm going to try to put it right on the area where Mr. Fivaz was talking about. Pardon me. Right there. Zoom in a little bit on it. Right there. Between the indentation, the flank. Let me try it a different way here. Right there. Right there. Yes, see? You can see it from here. That's a nice round. It's a well-struck specimen. And a lot of times that area will appear flat. And that is what Mr. Fivaz calls the mesa effect. Now, as you notice, these two coins that I bought are a little bit different color. The one on the right, it's a little bit more of a golden color. And really what that is the copper coming through. It's the copper coming through. Okay. And Mr. Fivaz writes, the metal content is 75% copper, 25% nickel. It doesn't necessarily have to be brilliant white or blast white, a lot of people call it, to be a MS65. It must have good luster, the original luster, and minimal contact marks, as well as a good strike. So that's why these two coins might not be the same color. And a lot of times I see Buffalo nickels in a graded holder that appear a little bit golden hue, or will have that copper hue to them. And then that's normal. It just has to have that luster, and both of these coins in my hand have that luster. Okay, we also talk about, or Mr. Fivaz talked about, there's a large percentage of coins in this series that habitually have a weak strike, 1919 through 29. So if you find, let's say, a 1919 that says MS65 or 6 or whatever, and you take a look at that flank, the hip bone, and all of a sudden you see one that's like this, okay, that's a lot of them are like that. But if you see one that has a very high, well struck, you cannot look at the price guide. You're probably going to have to go above the price guide, or if you get it at or near that price guide, you have cherry picked it, because the well struck specimen, it's just hard to find in those date ranges, 35D and S, and there are others. Okay, in other areas of the coin where a weak strike is most noticeable. A weak strike is most noticeable. So if the coin is a weak strike, you're going to look on the obverse, the hair above the tie, on the braid, the cheek, and the nostril. So you'd look at the coin. You're not going to be able to see that nostril. We can really look into his nose. I mean, his nostril looks really good. I've got some magnification here. Let's try it that way. This might be a little bit better. Look at that. Look at that nose. You can see into his nose. This is a well-struck coin. This is telling us areas where the weak strike is most noticeable. So you'd look at the obverse. You can't even see up into his nose. It's a weak strike. The reverse, the upper front leg and shoulder, the hair in front of the horn. Now, when I first started with coins, this had to be in my, I couldn't even tell you. But what I was told was, first thing you do with a buffalo nickel, flip around and look at the tip of the horn. And if you cannot see the tip of the horn, move on. And that's what I did with these coins, believe it or not. I looked for the tip of the horn. I could see the tip of the horn, and then I went on. First thing I do with a buffalo nickel, I look for the tip of the horn. And I believe if you could see the tip, it's XF minimum. Okay, anyways, it goes on. Bill goes on to say these areas. Okay, so these areas right here, these are the areas of high relief on the coin. It's the deepest part of the die, and therefore it's the last portion to strike up. So if the small indentation or groove above the tie on the braid on the obverse is visible, it is a well-struck coin. It is a well-struck coin. The deeper the groove, the stronger the strike. So we're looking at that hair tie, and then we're looking at the little grooves, the little indentations. Let me see if I can, let me use some, there we go. See those grooves there? Not so well. Let me try magnification here. Ah, yes. There's the hair tie. And then we have some grooves. There's 2 or 3 grooves right above that hair tie. Let's check this one. Yes. Oh, you know what? This one might not be as deep of a groove. That groove might not be as deep compared to, where'd you go? Compared to this one. Yeah, that groove looks a little bit deeper, I'll be honest with you, on the 38. Right above the hair tie, there's a groove that goes up, and it is a little bit deeper of a groove on this one. So thank you, Bill Fivaz, for teaching us about the buffalo nickel, the strike, the color, and that's what I do. I saw this. I said, okay, that's really nice. I read this. I read the date. Okay, it's high mintage. It's probably not going to be worth a lot. I flipped it over. I looked. I could see the tip of the horn, and then I started looking at the strike and the luster, and I said, wow, that's a beauty. That's a beauty. And I got another one, 37 and a 38. 37 plain, 38D. Now, a bonus was a 37D three-legged buffalo. This was a part of the talk that Mr. Fivaz gave. He talked about how to tell if your 37D three-legged buffalo is real. The leg is missing, polished off, but the hoof is still visible. A lot of times people take a 37D and fake it. Okay, You're going to be able to tell if it's real or not. Take a look at number 4. E pluribus unum is thinner and further away from the back. E pluribus unum is further away from the back. So what you would do is you take a regular coin and you take your 37D and you would take a look to see how far away E pluribus unum is from the back of the buffalo. If it's farther away, then you'd say, oh, that's one of these ways. All of these should check out. All of these should check out. If you have a 1937D, take a look at these. They all should check out. Hey guys, thank you for watching this video. This video is brought to you by John with Garfield Heights Coin Club, along with the educational speech that Mr. Bill Fivaz gave back in 2008, 10 years ago, just about. I purchased some Buffalo nickels and brought this out and wanted to share it with you guys. So thanks for watching. I appreciate you taking the time and learning about this a little bit. Take a look at your Unk coins, and maybe if you have some that are between these dates down here, see if you have any that are well struck. Those are probably some keepers. All right, guys. Talk to you in the next video. Bye.